Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This one I'm going to kind of be going through a paper that I wrote recently called Are We Creators? I found that people like to listen to things a little bit more than they like to read. I also post this on my Facebook page, the whole paper, as well as doing the videos, and people have a choice to watch whatever they choose to or read whatever they want. The idea is Are We Creators is something people talk a lot about, and keep in mind as I go through this paper that I'm dealing with it in reference to humans, the person you see in the mirror every day when you look. So I'm going to just go through some of the questions that I've come up with that are kind of out there, and then I'll go through and answer some of the questions and give you the ideas on what I understand and what I know. And remember too, the point of all my videos is to get you to think more about what it is you believe, so that you can start having experiences for yourself. Never stop at what you think you know, simply because what you think you know is only limited by what you think you know. We don't know what we don't know, so allow your mind to expand and grow. And if some of the videos I make can help you to think a little bit more and maybe get you thinking on other lines and about other ideas, then that's what the purpose of them is. So here are the questions. Do our thoughts create the reality around us and all that happens in our lives, or are our thoughts the results of the reality around us? Does how we perceive the reality around us using our five senses determine what we think our reality is? Is our perception of this reality only based on how it makes us feel? Is our reality just a dream illusion, with none of it being real, including us and anyone we think might be running the reality? Is reality just a series of random events, moments in space-time, with nothing created or set up, and what happens to us is just chance, the result of random thoughts in our brain? Is our reality simply waves, vibrations of energy, and how we perceive those waves is based upon our beliefs, and can we change our beliefs and thus our reality? Do all realities already exist, and can we, upon changing our beliefs, switch realities to one that is more in line with what we currently believe? Does our reality determine our beliefs, meaning we react to our reality, not our reality reacting to us? If we as humans aren't creating our reality, then who is? Is it other beings that have trapped us here, as many believe? And are they creating our reality, or making us create as they want in order for them to have the reality they want so they can draw our energy? Or is our higher self, the spirit aspect of us, the one that is and has created our reality, and we are simply experiencing it in human physical form? Are our realities predetermined, and what we experience, including our thoughts, is just a series of events, moments, that we as humans have no choice but to have and follow? Does anything we do as humans have the ability to change anything in or about the reality in which we find ourselves? As I'm going to go through some of these questions and kind of give you my feedback, the information I've gotten, and we'll kind of go from there. Remember, you may have had different experiences and may have different ideas, and that's great. Expound on those ideas and ask yourself more questions. Keep growing. It's the only way you're ever going to remember who and what you are and be able to move forward. The first question is, do our thoughts create our reality, or are our thoughts the results of the reality around us? The question, do our thoughts create our reality, seems to be fairly straightforward and easy to answer. But those that teach and make money from this idea have thrown in other factors which seem to muddy the waters. If you wanted to test this concept, all you would have to do is have a thought and see if that thought is created or manifested around you. If it does, and your reality changes, then your thoughts create your reality. If it doesn't, then they don't. What most people experience when they have the thought is that nothing happens beyond them having a thought. This should indicate to them that their thoughts don't create anything except a feeling based on their internal physical reaction to the thought. Because there is no money to be made or reasons for all day or all weekend seminars to be held telling people that their thoughts are not creating the reality they are currently in, those teaching this concept have come up with reasons why it doesn't appear to happen when we have a thought. They claim it's because this reality is dense of slower vibration. Our thoughts don't manifest instantly, but will over time create the reality we are seeking. So unfortunately, they don't tell you exactly what time frame is involved and say it is different for everyone. It's kind of, when someone tells you that, it's pretty much a cop-out. Systems like the law of attraction tell us that we must focus on what we want for certain lengths of time and continue to see ourselves in the reality or receiving the items we want, and eventually it will happen. This is very similar to the idea in religion that you need to keep praying for what you want, and eventually God might answer, and the idea of being promised something later if you just give your time and your money now. If you think you're creating the reality around you, what happened the last time you were daydreaming or zoning out and not paying attention to the world around you? I bet the reality around you didn't suddenly change to what you were daydreaming about. Your mental creation was only that, a mental creation. And the only thing that has changed was how you were feeling while you were daydreaming. Which I guess brings up the question, is our reality simply feelings? I'll let you think about that and come up with your own answer. Think about a baby or a little child and ask yourself, are they creating their reality as they go along? Visit any store during the day and listen to the children crying or wanting things, and you will quickly realize they aren't creating their realities. And what about the parents of the screaming child or the kids demanding everything they see? Do you really think if the parents were creating their reality, they would have a child behaving like that? And as a side thought, can you imagine what kind of a world we would live in if the children were actually creating the realities as they went along? And I guess even worse is if the adults were creating their realities as we went along. So pick any professional sporting event and notice how the players differ in their abilities within their sport. If they and we are creating the reality as it went along, every one of those athletes would be at the top of their sport with perfect records. Everyone would win every time. There'd be no other way around it if they were creating what they were doing. Think about all the details around you when you were visiting someplace for the first time. How did you create all the things you were seeing when you didn't know what would be there until after you were there and saw it? If we are creating our reality as we go, then why are people still hungry, poor, sick, injured, robbed, killed, or abused? Why are people still working just to survive and in debt for years if they want to buy something expensive like a house or a car? If your life isn't perfect, meaning there's something about or within your life you would change, and I mean any detail, then why haven't you done so if you are creating a reality? At the current human level, you are experiencing your reality. You are not creating it. Are our thoughts the results of the reality around us? Meaning, are we reacting to what there is versus creating it? Think about walking into the resort, a store, restaurant, or a club for the first time and looking around. I bet your thoughts were on what you were seeing as you scanned the new sites, not creating what you see as you went along. As you see the people, tables, decor, and interacted with some of them, your thoughts were shifting from and to each person and the things that you saw, which says your thoughts were the results of your reality you were interacting with. It means that your thoughts came after the reality appeared to you, so you were seeing what was already there without having known what was going to be there before you walked in. You and the rest of us are all actually living in what we call the past, since we are reacting to what already is, and that's what our reality is. Our reality is already there. Our reactions are what are we getting to that reality. Some will say that the main reality we are seeing is part of the mass consciousness and was created as part of the collective, so everyone would see the same basic reality, but we are able to add what we want to that reality. So as far as the club or restaurant, they could say, well, we are seeing what someone else has created, so we don't have to create it. In a way, that's true, since everyone that goes to a resort will see snow, a ski resort will see snow, lifts, lodges, and people in ski outfits. The same way everyone going to the ocean will see the water, and everyone going to the desert will see a desert. We will also see different things and in different ways while visiting those locations, but this isn't because we're creating those differences. We see it differently because of our beliefs and the experience up to that point in this role, this life that we're living. A hunter visiting the desert or the beach may see animal tracks in the sand, while the rock hound next to him will only see the rock formations and small rocks scattered on the ground. The person who likes cactus will focus on them, while at the ocean, the boater may notice the ships going by, and the surfer will pay attention to the waves and their pattern. If the hunter shows the tracks to the rock hound, he will probably see them, but he didn't create them any more than the hunter did when he first saw them. Each person can show the others what they are seeing, but it was already there, and they didn't create it. What we see is already part of the vibration that is there, as is everything that ever was, is, and will be. And we see the vibration as we are supposed to experience them in our reality, no matter who is with us, because they too are a vibration we are seeing. So essentially anybody that you're with, in other words, the people that are with you are pointing out things that are helping you and teaching you, they're vibrations too, just like you are. They're not any more real than what you are. What they're doing by showing another person what they're seeing is teaching the other person to see more of the vibration, change how they're seeing the reality vibration. Like awakening, when you start to see things differently. It's one of the things that a lot of us do is we started to awaken and start to question and look at different things. Suddenly we started seeing the world around us in a different way, and the reason for that is simply because now we've allowed ourselves to the idea of more vibrations and that are already there, so we're going to see things more than what we did before because we've opened ourselves up. Like if you could suddenly see infrared or X-ray type light spectrum. Besides, if you see or seeing what someone else has created, then it would also mean at that time you aren't creating your reality, someone else is. One accepted idea is that we each have our own universe, and we are seeing an overlapping of creations within each of those universes, so we don't have to create everything, co-creating. It's the overlapping that causes what we call a mass consciousness reality. Ever end up in a bad hotel room? Is that what you were expecting when you got to the room, or was it already there for you to experience? Ever get to the airport and find out your flight was canceled or delayed? Again, was that what you were planning on creating, or was it an experience you were supposed to have? Some might say we created those things because we had a fear of them happening before we got there. That again is a partial truth, because sometimes we do experience what we fear, but not because we created it, but because we needed to experience it in order to overcome that fear. Remember, fear is a creation and illusion of the mind about what might happen, not what is happening. The voice in our head, our thoughts, is usually going non-stop. But take a few seconds to think about what that voice, those thoughts are usually about. Mostly they deal with the past, reviewing conversations or events we've already experienced, or about what we want to happen or think might be coming in the future. If you are able to sit still and stop those thoughts, even if it's only for a short time, does the reality around you disappear because you are no longer thinking or creating it? Probably not. Yet it should if your thoughts are creating your reality. No thoughts, no reality. Some would say we are creating our reality at the subconscious level. And I actually agree with that based on my knowing that the subconscious is our higher self, the part of us that is real and eternal. It is the full us outside of what we call the physical world, yet at the same time, the physical world is also the spirit world. In other words, everything is one world. There is nothing outside or beyond us. It created this universe and our experiences, as well as the roles we are playing within this universe. The subconscious is not a deep, buried part of the physical brain that science would have us believe. It's an external thing. It's an external and internal thing, but it is not part of the brain because the brain in itself is not real to begin with. Also, if we're creating our reality at the subconscious level, how can we say we are creating it when we have no put or awareness from what is called, what a lot of people refer to as our conscious mind? Our conscious mind, hence, our physical form, is just reacting to what our subconscious mind has already created. Okay, I'm going to stop part 1 right here, and I will pick up with part 2.